this red, not ready for prime time player right here would be Rad Mom. Yeah, who's only actually been out of bed for an hour, so please excuse the hair. Like, I'm so annoyed at myself for oversleeping. It's my own fault. Put a fan in the window last night, and every time I thought to myself this morning, you know what, I'm gonna get out of bed, I poke my head out from under the blanket, and there'd be a fan blowing cold fucking wind in my eye. And I thought, nah, never mind. Yeah, so by the time I finally got my lazy ass out of bed this morning, it was 10 o'clock. Shut up! That, and I'm just generally irritable and cranky today. Everybody have days like that? Everybody have days like that? Well, you just gotta wake up feeling like you want the world to go away and leave you the fuck alone. Yeah, does anybody ever have days like that? So, of course, today, on this day like that, I have to be on camera. Because I love you guys, and I wouldn't, do that to you. But, oh, man. When I say I don't want to do this right today, don't take it personal. It's not. It's really not. It's me. And I feel like I look... Shut up! Seriously, you're new to this whole thing. Go away. It is a cat, not a raccoon. No. It ain't nothing but a hound dog. And he cries all the time. Yes. Go away. Go in the house. Go do something else. No. No. So I can't do this. This is not going to work. Buddy! The dog's name is Buddy. Fine. Have a good time then. Bye. Buddy, come on. Buddy! Oh my God. Go get the dog. Thank you. Oh my God. I am so glad no one's here. This is right at the beginning now, so anybody who watches this is going to see all this. That's great. I am not the biggest dog person that there ever was. I'm just not. They are loud and dirty. Messy, mainly the messy part. They're loud and messy. And yeah, I have kids for that. Hello? The fuck I need a dog for? Hello? We got fucking 4 of them. How many of them did I bring home? Big fat goose egg, that's how many. We got a really nice new coffee place here in town, though. It says here it's guaranteed to satisfy since 1992. I've been doing stuff since 1983, and I've never heard of them before, but they're good. It's good stuff. This is not an endorsement or a sponsorship, obviously. Look, there, he's caught the beast, my hero. Thank you.
A lot easier than last time.
Really?
Yep.
He came to me last time. I think he could sense I was angry this time. So, huh? Love you. Thank you. What?
I cleaned up the stove.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Do me a favor. Look at the ceiling. Look at the roof of the house. Tell me which one of those things is spinning. The one over Grandma's room.
Yeah, the one farthest from here.
Oh my God. Because I can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah, very loud.
Oh my God. Yup, there it does go again. Well. Perhaps your mission today, should you choose to accept it, is to climb up there and wedge something in that thing so it does not spin anymore. But it's optional because I am just waiting for it to drive me insane enough to get up there and do it myself. And I think that time is coming. But, yeah. What the what? I don't know. Why don't you look in the other one and see what I've wedged in it? It's working very well. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been 6 years ago. It was right after your brother was born that I finally climbed up there and did it because it had been driving me crazy all summer when I was pregnant with him. And like I'm going to climb on a roof, you know, in the middle of a pregnancy. That just seems like a bad plan. So I had to wait until like August to do it. And I was so baby-brained, babe. I don't remember what I did. I don't. I'm sorry. It may be. It was something that I knew wouldn't break or rust through. Because rust is the problem if you get up there and look at it. The other one was not doing this a few years ago. It was still quiet. So. Right now it is? Huh. I mean, the thing about it is the spinning's not like, you know, mandatory. As far as I know. I mean, right, it's just a vent. But then, like, you know, I wonder if when it rains, does it leak down in there, you know? Have I sat... How do you know that? Does it? Or does it have to be engineered to not let rain in when it's moving? Listen. I love your optimism, but clearly you are unfamiliar with the attitude of 20th century engineers. They needed what they wanted to do one thing. They wanted whatever it was they were working on to do one thing, and if it did that one thing, they didn't give a shit about what else it did. All right, so. Yes, you'd think we would have a big puddle over our bedroom or something. You'd think the ceiling would be showing if it was leaking from the other side. I suppose that's true. But no, I don't trust the engineers to have taken care of that. My honey, my son, baby doll darling, sweetie darling. How many times have I screwed myself doing that? So many. So many. When I said to myself, you know, it would make perfect sense for this thing to be able to do that, and then it can't do that. And you're like, what? But it should be able to. Okay. Yeah. All the time. It's all over the place, engineering issues like that. And, you know, I'm not an engineer, so for all I know, I have used well-engineered products, though, and they have so many fewer of those. Yeah. The kind of thing where you use the object and you almost forget you used the object because it was so easy. Yes, except that, I mean, the engineer clearly did a thing. They designed it, didn't they? But, yeah, it's more like cleaning a bathroom. When you do it right, people don't notice you've done it. People only notice you doing it when you do it badly. Yeah. Like cleaning a bathroom. Okay. Nice talking. I'm supposed to be talking to people and they're not here yet. Been at this for almost 10 minutes. Whatever. If y'all don't show up in like half an hour, I get to get off of here early. And finish the thing I actually want to work on today, which is, oh my gosh, you guys, I got so much written yesterday. Oh, I got so much of part 2 written yesterday. part 2 of book 3, which there's only 3. So, word to the wise, that's only one part away from being done ski with the bitcho, okay? Oh my god. The word excited doesn't even begin to qualify. Doesn't even begin to cover my feelings on that, okay? Because it's been over a year of my life at this point that I've been working on this. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy that I'm that close to being done with it. I got so much written yesterday in part 2 for book 3. Excuse me, and it actually went, I didn't even sit down to write until 3 o'clock yesterday. So, that was pretty cool. I got it all done in the afternoon and the evening. Well, into the night, not gonna lie. I was up a little late writing last night, but, the secret is to outline your scenes, okay? Have a really good idea of what you want to happen going in. Because that's how I did that yesterday. That's how I managed to, gosh, I think I wrote most of 2 chapters yesterday. Which in my chapters are really only between 8 and 10 pages long anyway. But I try to make them dense. I keep seeing this writing advice. Make sure every scene in your story serves a purpose. Yes! Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you write a scene that serves no purpose? How would you write a scene that serves no purpose? I don't actually understand how you would even accomplish that. And why is this dog over here again? Go away! Go away. Come on, get in the house. Come on. Inside. Inside. Come on. Please. No. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. I just want, like, there's no one out here. There's no one watching me at this point. If no one shows up by, like, half past, I'm just going to turn it off and call it a day and go back to, life. But, like, I would prefer to at least attempt to do this without him baying in my ear. Cool. No. That dog is outside every 10 minutes, I swear to God. He is all right. He has a nice, decently big yard to run around in, see, and food and water, and he is a perfectly well-kept fellow. He and I just aren't the best of friends, that's all. Wait, I'm just not the biggest dog person in the world, that's all. But I got so much writing done last night. I really did. I'm so excited. So, worst case scenario for me, if this live stream doesn't end up going anywhere, I just get to go back to doing what I was going to do anyway. Which is type up, gosh, like I say, probably 2 whole chapters just about from part 2 of book 3, and there's only 3 books. So, we're coming down the home stretch or something. Or it sure does feel that way anyway, after, I don't remember exactly how many words. It was 36 something. I can tell you that from the last time I typed it up because I write it down. Right, because I write it out in a notebook first because I am old and weird. And then after I've typed it up, I write in how many numbers? How many? 36,232. Before I wrote all the stuff I wrote yesterday. Oh, and time slip 5. So, yeah. This one's probably going to be coming up on 40,000 words. Thank you for the like. 40,000 words at this point. So, the first one's 35, so that's 75, and the other one is about 30. So, that's 105,000 words. So yeah, after 105,000 words, being in the middle of part 2 of book 3 feels like the home stretch. Even though it probably isn't really. Because you know how it is. You think to yourself, oh, okay, this is going to go that way. And then you get digging into it, and, you know, one of the characters mentions something that you haven't even thought about in, like, a few weeks. And you're like, oh, yeah, that thing. I should probably resolve that plot point. Crap. Ah. Yeah. I keep having to add scenes. There's one scene in particular that I'm not looking forward to, and I have it marked out on the paper and numbered with how many I have left until I get there, because oh man, am I dreading that. Oh, but I probably got 2 weeks before I need to write that scene anyway. It is nice weather here. What's it like over there, Leah? Is it not warm there? Isn't it kind of always warm there? I need a towel, and I don't have one. Cold and sunny. High elevations. They're weird, aren't they? Cold and sunny. But yes, it is a gorgeous 70-degree day over here in sunny East Tennessee. So take that for what it's worth. Not lording it over y'all. It's just what it is. But yeah, I got so much written yesterday, you guys. The secret is to outline your scenes before you write them. That's the secret, okay? Because it really just started because, like, I would have an idea for something that I would not have the time to write down at that moment. So I would, you know, whip out my notebook and just be like, okay, here's the scene that I'm thinking of, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, and here's what I want to happen, you know. And then I would go back and, you know, consult them, obviously, when I finally got time to sit down and write it. And it ended up working so well that I just kind of started doing that for a lot of them. So anyone who ever goes back over my notes for this book is going to, like, spoilers. Because every scene is in there. And, yeah. I get the conversation sketched out, the dialogue sketched out, the blocking, you know, where they are and what they're doing, the basics of the scene sketched out, and then I get to just sit down and write it. And yesterday I got how many? I'm not bragging, I'm just excited. I have come up with a method that works. Let's see, yesterday I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 scenes yesterday. Some of them were short though, to be fair. And I just can't wait to share this with everybody, you know. It's awkward because I can't really talk about a lot of the plot points I'm working with right now because it'll spoil the damn story. Because I'm working up to the ending, you see. And I think the ending is going to throw some people for a loop, honestly, because it's a little odd. It might not be what people are expecting. I don't know. That's not why. That's not why it is the way that it is. You know, after you have spent 105,000 words, and it's going to end up being more than that, planting the seeds of foreshadowing in people's minds, you have to give them the ending that you have been foreshadowing. You can't just flip everything on its head right there in the last minute and to subvert everybody's expectations. Yeah, word to the wise, that's not how good writing works. So don't worry about that. That's not why it has a weird ending. It's not because I'm trying to be edgy or something. It's just kind of a weird story. I'm kind of a weird person, so there we are. You like my green? I thought I'd go with something a little more festive, a little more seasonal than black today. You know. We've got 3 people here. Only one person has said hello so far. Who is here? Who have we got? Hello? Oh, 4. Hello. We have some people joining the RadChat today. I was really just talking about the book. Because, well, that's all I want to talk about. That's all I'm thinking about is the book. I don't know if anyone out there in internet land has ever written a book. But boy, does it kind of take over your life. Yeah, so. don't know. A friend of mine is supposed to, green is spring color. Hi, Isla Strawberry. Yes, green is a great spring color, which is what it is here where I am. I'm not sure if I remember where you are. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it is fall there, so. I do have a couple of people tune in every once in a while from Australia, from the Great Down Under, so that's pretty cool. I hope you guys cannot hear that high-pitched noise that my house is making. Yeah. But so I got 6 scenes, 11 scenes, I don't know, a bunch of stuff written yesterday, like a bunch of stuff. And one of them was actually something that I came up with the idea for yesterday. So I came up with the idea and I got it sketched out and I wrote it all out all in one day. Getting warmer in Scandinavia too slowly, but spring is coming here too. Why is your house making noise? Is it the AC unit? No, it is. Well, happy spring in Scandinavia. I guess it's probably a little chillier there. Tennessee is a lot further south, isn't it? As for the noise, you know, the little spinny vents, you know, on the little dome spinny vents, you know, on the top of all these mid-century houses, you know. Yeah, well, whatever they lubricate the central peg of those bitches with is gone. Okay, because this house is 65 years old. And I wedged something in one of them several years ago because it was the one over my bedroom and it would not stop going. Whee! I can't even do it. I can't. But it's the sort of thing that will drive you batty, alright? So I climbed up on my roof and I wedged something. I just had a baby, so I don't remember what it was. So I wedged something down in this thing. I'm gonna go do dishes, have laundry, have a good day, enjoy writing your book. Hugs. Bye, Leah. Have a good one. Yeah, I wedged something down in one of them and it doesn't move anymore. And now the other one on the other end of the house has started making the noise too. And I just had to tell my oldest son about, he said something like, well, surely they would have engineered it not to allow rain in. Never say that to yourself, my son. Never, ever, ever. Especially about mid-20th century engineers. Never, ever say to yourself, well, surely they intended it for this, therefore it makes sense that it would do that. Those engineers were paid good money to make their object do one thing. One thing. And if it does that one thing, well, the rest of it is somebody else's problem. Namely yours, probably. Where is everybody? It says there are 2 people here. Who is here? I mean, the thing is, like, I can totally sit here and talk to myself all day. Ask anyone. I can do that all day. But how boring is that? And actually, I did say if we didn't get a decent conversation going by like 1/2 I was just going to get off of here because I have a whole bunch of typing to do because I wrote 11 scenes yesterday. Longhand, okay? That's how I roll. That's how I think. I can't, it's really difficult for me to like write on the, like compose on the computer. Like I can write emails on the computer. I actually have a beautiful comment on one of my videos I've been meaning to respond to all week. So, that's obviously going to get done on the computer. But yeah, as far as like story writing, I'm a pencil and paper girl. Because I'm not a girl. I'm almost 40, I guess, is maybe why. I don't know. I started writing stories in notebooks when I was like 7, so... You know, when I was 7, it would have been, I don't know, 1990? We had a computer in our home back then because my dad is a nerd. My mom is a nerd. My parents are nerds. We had a computer at home. I was not allowed to touch it. So, that wasn't going to happen. Not to mention, I hadn't been taught to type yet. Because they taught us to type in the 1st grade. Yeah. My oldest knew how to type before he could write. Thanks to my ex. So. That's just pretty freaky, isn't it? At least I thought so. Anyway, at the time. I don't know about freaky, but not what I was intending, you know? Huh. Most of my kids know cursive, too. I don't understand the attitude towards that, you know? Like, cursive is actual writing. You know, like printing is baby writing. That's what you... It's like the training wheels of writing. Can't write anything with pen and paper. Too tiring, and my brain does not work that way. Hey, that's fine. You're more of a digital interface kind of person? I've met many people like that. I understand that I am the outlier here. All the more reason to say it, I guess, you know, because maybe there's one or two other people out there like me who probably feel like they're the only one. And we lost somebody else. I hope that wasn't you, Strawberry. I hope I didn't make you mad. Just giving my perspective. I can't imagine why someone would get defensive about something like that. No, probably not. Oh, there's two again. Hello. Yeah. As far as writing, yeah, I don't know. I find it difficult to get creative with a keyboard, a computer keyboard. I'm also a musician, so when I say that, that's the other thing. Is a lot of times when the word "still here," crappy internet. Hi, you're still here, yay. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness, we have a bunch of people just coming. Hello, welcome to the RadChat, where sometimes we talk about male versus female genetics, and sometimes we talk about film and video and music, and sometimes I babble about my book, which I am writing. Is the first one is pretty much straightforward historical fiction until about 2/3 of the way through, and then suddenly there's witches. Just gonna go ahead and use that plot twist to drive up interest, because it's not really a plot twist. It's not really. It's like the entire. It's actually the plot. So being revealed more like, and then we have two, and a third whole books after that. So it's not like it ruins the ending or anything. We need more witches. Hell yeah, we need more witches. My book is full of them. Absolutely full of them. Good ones and bad ones, and yeah. So mainly good ones though. Yeah. But you know, there has to be a villain, right? There has to be a conflict. Otherwise there's no story. And it's much fun as it is to write about the personal level conflict of country gentry from the Victorian period. Yeah, I just don't feel that that's really compelling enough to drive an entire narrative. I think Jane Austen would disagree, but I'm not dissing Austen here. You're a witch too. Yay! Good. So, maybe you would enjoy my book. First person female protagonist. It's fairly straightforward historical fiction till about 2/3 of the way through. The first part is. It's gonna be 3 installments, I think. The third one is already longer than either of the other two in their current incarnations, in their current form, which are both rough drafts. You know, I have plenty of ideas to go back and revisit them both. They're going to end up being longer, of course. But the third one is already longer than either of the other two. And I'm not even halfway through the second part of it. So, and if you just think of your basic 3-act structure, essentially is how I've structured them. The third one's ended up being a bit different. Doesn't quite fit. Because as I say, the ending is weird. And gosh, there's this one scene that I am just dreading so bad that I don't want to write. But if I don't write it, the story can't happen, so. I'm gonna cry that day. The life of a creative, huh? I imagine it's something like being a sports fan, where like your internal barometer, your emotional barometer is linked to something outside of yourself that no one else gives a fuck about. So, writers and sports fans, you know, the sports fans, if their team loses, they have a bad day. No matter what else is going on. It could be their wedding day, but if their team lost the night before, they're having a bad day. Okay, and yeah, being a writer is like that. It doesn't matter what else is going on. It could be a beautiful day where everyone is happy and I am well and I've had a lovely breakfast and I sit down to write the saddest shit and have a terrible day. All right, this happened several times where I'm walking around just in this cloud of, blackness because something bad just happened to this person in the story that I'm writing. It's a trip. It is a trip. And it is hot over here. Like, I'm getting ready to have to put up the umbrella. Because either that or take off my sweater. And I'm not doing that. So... and a little breeze through. On a chilly morning, you want the sun and you don't want the breeze. And then on a nice warm morning, you don't want the sun and you do want the breeze. It's like, oh no. Oh my gosh, why did I do that? That's so stupid. And as I say, I'm just fucking cranky and ornery today anyway, for whatever reason. So I just do not feel arguing with this stupid inanimate object over here. My God. If you don't, can we just all get along, if that's okay, if you don't mind too terribly much, please. Do your damn job. Thank you. And now we have shade. See? Wasn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Get this out of the way too. No! Not you. Not you. Here we are. Alright, so. Oh no. Oh good. It's the FedEx man, but he's stopping across the street. I only dread the FedEx man because the dogs love the FedEx man. They love him. Because he comes up on the porch, We had one of them actually break a pane out of one of our windows earlier this year. Because she was so excited to see the FedEx man. Oh, yeah. I'm not a super dog person. I like them. For the most part. They're sweet. I don't know. Maybe this is my cynical self. And some of you ladies, you're, my crew. So maybe you'll relate to this. Where it just makes me so sad on a certain level that there is this beast who has been bred to love me. That it has no choice, okay? That I could beat the living shit out of it and it would come crawling back for more. Poor things. I would never hit a dog. There are so many, millions and millions of infinitely better ways to spend your time and energy than hitting a dog. But the fact that people do and they still, I don't know. There's just something really sad about that to me, that there's this poor beast that's been bred to do nothing but give me love. And when I leave, it is despondent because it cannot love me. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. More of a cat person in that way, because the cat, you can have a relationship with a cat. But if you're not home, the cat's like, whatever, I have stuff to do, and takes a nap for 5 hours, Is it any surprise that men tend to prefer dogs over cats? Right? Right. Poor things. Yes, exactly. Is it any surprise? No, it's not. No, it's not. Who do you suppose probably made them that way? Yeah. Because, they were used for hunting, weren't they? So. It would have been a man thing anyway, I suppose, for a while there, going back a ways. I don't know. I'm fascinated on the one hand by the differences between men and women that we all know do exist. On the other hand, I do not want anyone to think that I see these things as prescriptive. I've known many women who adore dogs. That's fine. That doesn't... Good for them. Good for them. I'm glad they enjoy something in life. It's just very easy when you talk in broad strokes to slip into those modes of thinking, I think. Absolutely, haha. As far as, who made them that way, yeah. It's gotta be as far as who made them that way. Oh, the lag is fun. But, actually one of my best friends in the world is a dog person. She loves dogs. She had dogs growing up. And, still loves dogs. And she has 4 kids of her own, so, obviously those two things are not mutually exclusive. I don't know. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where one could just express one's perspective without having anyone assume that you're trying to speak for them? Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be nice. Because I also have kids. And, I have several, big followers here who are child-free, and that's great. If you don't want kids, please don't have them. Some of the biggest assholes to ever live started out as unwanted children. All right? So you're doing us all a favor by following your impulses on that. I preferred dogs when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I can see what my parents meant by them requiring more responsibility. I prefer indoor cats. Well, and outdoor cats are apparently responsible for some sort of bird genocide I was reading a while back, which made me very sad because I also like birds, obviously. Who doesn't like birds? No, you know what? That's why I like cats too. They're chill. They are, right, exactly. And they're chill whether you're there, and they're chill if you're not there. They don't tear your house up because you had to go to work. And they're lonesome. I have met a couple of people who were just terrified of birds. Actually, now I think about it. But that doesn't mean we want the cats to kill them all, does it? No. She knows we're talking about her. She just came down the path here. It's whack. I read about that too. Crazy how 1 or 2 cats can radically affect the bird population. Exactly. Even if they're declawed. And getting cats declawed is a whole other thing that I am not a fan of generally. But yeah, it doesn't matter if they're declawed. Apparently, they can still catch birds. What did I do with my little thing I bought yesterday? Oh dear. There it is. So, yes, but they're also effective in keeping down rats, mice, and snakes. Yes, that's very true. And that, of course, is why humans domesticated them in the first place. That's true. We had 2 mice in the house in the autumn, I think it was, and she got them both. So. And actually, when we first got her, there were moles in the backyard. And, yeah, she would go out in the backyard, and I noticed that she was getting kind of chubby, but she wasn't eating any of her food. And eventually we had no more moles. It seems the cat did away with the mole problem in the backyard, which is nice. But like, this cat came to us in a cloth purse from an acquaintance of mine, who I'm not going to go into. Long story short, she left us a cat. One night, in the middle of the night, late at night, she stopped by and gifted us a cat. Called Pumpkin. A gray tabby called Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Now I call her Punky, like Punky Brewster, because I just couldn't, that's a stupid name for a cat. That's a stupid name for anything. Much less a gray tabby. Like, hello, you want to name a cat Pumpkin, get an orange tabby. What the fuck? Or, you know, I don't know. So I had to change the cat's name because I just couldn't stand that. It was just too stupid. It was like another one I got one time, who was a little black one I picked up out of a parking lot, and the girl who his mama belonged to told me that she called him Puffy because he was a little black with a white diamond here. She said she called him Puffy because he was black and had bling, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's racist, but okay. And the cat answered to his name, so what was I gonna do? I have so many stories like that. I've had so many cats, you guys. At one point when I was growing up, we had 20 cats at one time. So I don't think my mom likes me to talk about that, but I love to talk about that because to my mind it was really cool. You know, she was trying to get a certain particular kind of kitten, which she did end up getting, and then, you know, we rehomed most of them because the breeding program was over. Breeding cats. You know, people do that. You can pay thousands of dollars if you want to and get a cat that looks just like a tiny tiger. That is a house cat. You know, designer cats. We've had designer dogs, I mean, shit, since like the 17th century or something, whenever the Bichon Frise was like made the official lap dog of the French aristocracy or some stupid shit like that. Why do I know that? Why do I know that? The stuff that just floats around in your brain. Isn't it funny what sticks with you? And what doesn't? But yeah, if I wanted to, I could just go get the computer and literally start transcribing the shit now on camera, I guess. I mean, I don't see why not. It's not like you guys can read it over my shoulder, or like it would make any damn sense if you did. So Yeah. Because one of them is a really long dream sequence with like very little framing to the actual scenes themselves, because the framing is outside of the scenes themselves because it's a dream sequence. A very complicated dream sequence. Essentially. Yeah, so just a bunch of dialogue essentially with a little bit of blocking here and there. That's part of what made them go so fast, I'll admit. Writing dream sequences with very little blocking is a lot easier than actually writing a fully fleshed out scene. You know, but also, like, man, life is repetitive, isn't it? So we have these same kinds of scenes that happen over and over again. You know, like this person will come to visit and they'll have a conversation in the same room, or, you know, that kind of thing. Or, like, you know, there's another regular thing where the character goes over to somebody's house for dinner and they walk her home, and so that happens repeatedly. But so then, you know, every successive time that you have one of these scenes, you require less and less actual description of what is going on around them, because it's like, we get it, right? Like, they're walking down the same street that they've walked down 4 times already in the book. Like, we get it, right? So that's the point I'm at right now. So good luck reading over my shoulder and understanding a damn thing that's going on, really. And I just figure that by this point, if anyone has read this far, and the third book, I loved how I am going to brag a little bit. Because the third one starts, you know, a while after the end of the second one. And the end of the second one is a bit heavy. So, you know, but at the beginning of the third one, you're probably wondering how any of that affected these characters, right? And we don't start there. You're right in the middle of a conversation 5 years later. And now we're about halfway through, and finally getting back to the stuff that probably should have been technically at the beginning. You know, some of the emotional fallout and like how they actually got to where we found them at the beginning of the book. So to me, that's satisfying. And there is a reason that it is in that order, I promise. I'm not doing anything just to be gimmicky and interesting, I swear. I can't do that pretentious shit. I hate that pretentious shit so much. So I promise you, if there's something happening in a certain way, there is a reason for it. And like I was saying earlier, I see this writing advice all over everywhere. Don't write a scene that doesn't have a point. If you have a scene that doesn't have a point, it doesn't matter how much you like it, you have to cut it. It's like, why would you write a scene that doesn't have a... Why would you waste your time? What do you... I don't know. I don't know who does that. Who writes entire scenes with no point? How? That's really more to the point. Because if you have pretty well developed characters, it really almost doesn't matter what you have them, where you put them, and what you have them doing. They're going to tell you something about themselves in that scene. And if you can't find a way to tie that thing into the rest of your story, then what are you doing? Fan fiction stories are full of scenes that don't have a point. Okay, but fan fiction is fan service. Okay, right? That's one of the reasons I think fan fiction is notoriously bad. Is that it is straight up fan service, and you're really not worried so much about writing techniques. Well, the point is basically playing with pre-established characters in a temporary dollhouse. Right. And your goal as a storyteller there is more to play with the characters in a dollhouse. Yeah, right. That's a good way to put it. Not so much driving the plot forward or worried about, you know, resolving plot points or telling a solid story, because someone already did that. That's why you love the characters so much that you want to play with them yourself. You know, I have no problem with fan fiction. This is not what I'm doing. So I would differentiate a lot of times between maybe fan service fiction and like a novel. If only because the purpose of those two stories is completely different, I think. You know, not to diss fan fiction here, not at all. I think that they serve very different purposes for the reader, really, and the author. You know, and honestly, fan fiction is one of those things that I could adore, if not for the fact that it's dragged through the mud by by the cultural, you know, milieu. Right, agree. Definitely different realms of purpose. So yeah. As far as writing, though, straight up, fairly mainstream, you know, prose fiction. How you would write a scene that doesn't serve any purpose, I don't know. And I swear that every single one, or at least I believe that every single one of the 105,000 words or whatever it is approximately that I've thought so far is there for a purpose. Every single word. Right now, the friend of mine who's been, you know, kind of sort of helping me manage this whole digital realm thing, I think he's more excited about the book. I think I've finally given him something he can sell, which is fine. You know, I think that fiction is a very good delivery device for philosophical ideas. So that's really what I'm about here. You know, the big themes of the story are things like women's oppression and individual versus collective power and, you know, that kind of stuff. Big ideas. Themes are big ideas. And I don't know. I'm just so excited about it. And I'm glad that a couple of other people I know are starting to get excited about it. It makes it feel more real, you know? You know, my friend, the developer, was asking me how supportive my husband is being in the writing of the whole book thing. And I said, well, he's the only person who's actually read all of it so far. When I say read, I mean that I read it to him. First of all, because it's actually handy for me to kind of read it all out and hear how it all flows together, you know? And secondly, that way I know that he's reading it. And I know exactly where he is in the reading of it. So, you know. And I get to do it with him. You know, he's like my little test case. He's my little guinea pig. Where, you know, does he go, oh, when he's supposed to go, oh? Does he go, oh, when he's supposed to go, oh? You know, the emotional beats, are they hitting, you know? And I'm happy to say that usually they are. Usually they do. Usually, and there was one point at the beginning of book 2 when he kind of grumbled something. Well, I don't know why that's happening because everybody knows blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's exactly what I want you to be thinking right now. That is exactly what I wanted you to be thinking right now. I'm so stoked right now. Oh my goodness. So, you know, I am excited to get it out there, and it starts off a little slow, and the opening is not the strongest opening I've ever read, and it needs work. I'm thinking of some sort of evocative, quasi, like summarizing maybe sentence or two at the beginning instead of just jumping into it. You know, along the lines of, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, or, you know, Marley was dead at the beginning and that was a fact, or whatever it is. I don't have that one memorized. So, you know, that kind of thing. Just a sentence or two to sort of let you know what you're in for as a hook, so that you know, so that one is not just sort of mysteriously watching this little girl go about her day for 10 pages before you have any idea what the fuck is going on. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like I might lose people that way, which would be really sad because, yeah, it's a bit of a slow build, but man, does it build to something. I'm telling you. There are crushed nuts involved, y'all, okay? Here's a free spoiler for you. There are crushed nuts involved. And I don't mean hazelnuts. Also witches, you know. Got a hot bomb now. Take care and hope your transcription goes well. Thank you, tired woman. I hope you're not really so tired and you have yourself a very good day. The transcription always goes pretty smoothly. The only thing is, typos. Oh my god. Or my computer does this thing where, like, I've never had a computer do this thing before. Where it will just all of a sudden randomly decide that it's going to type in nothing but capital letters. And no, the caps lock is not on because I'm not an idiot. I do check that, And sometimes if I go Alt Control Shift in just the right order, just the right way, I can get it to go back. And I figure I must have hit something by accident to make it do that in the first place. I just have no idea what it was. Where is Mary? She said she was going to see me tomorrow yesterday. Kind of waiting for her. Because I feel bad. Be on here for, an hour and not see her. Boo. Oh, well. I mean, c'est la vie, I suppose, but c'est la vie, je suppose. Oh. Yeah. But right now, I wish I could explain more about the larger themes. Right now, I'm really kind of working on getting the story done. The story part. With the stuff that happens and the people talking and doing things, that part. And then I've gotten some amazing comments from some people out there that have really picked up on some of the thematic stuff going on that I didn't even see. Mwah. Brilliant stuff there. Thank you. But yeah, and a lot of times I just write it, and then I'll go back later, sometimes months later, and look at it and say, wow, I did not do that on purpose. That's fun. I actually caught myself in the act a few days ago. The way I had written it comes across as foreshadowing for something that's going to happen later, and I didn't even do it on purpose, but I went back and I read it that same afternoon, and I was like, all right, that's the kind of thing that's going to smack people across the face in the second read through, and I didn't even mean to do that. All right. I blame inspiration, really. Muses are fickle things. I wonder sometimes why in the fuck did because if you're a writer, if you feel maybe down in your heart as a young person that you might be a writer, then there's born this wish for the book, the one that's gonna grab you by the hair and drag you along and make you write it. True inspiration, the kind of thing that just flows through you, right? I think a lot of artistic types have that dream. Why did it wait until I was almost 40 and had 3 kids living at home? Why? Why couldn't this have been this spring? Do y'all remember Molly Grew? Do you? How dare you come to me now when I am this? Where were you when I was new? Where were you when I was one of those innocent young maidens you always come to? Yeah, I watched too many cartoons growing up. That's alright. So I think we all did. And it's, yeah, does anybody remember Molly Grew? Because that's how it feels. I feel like my unicorn finally showed up and I'm like 40 and busy. And like I literally spent the first 3 or 4 months last year trying to get this project off the ground, not getting the project off the ground. Because it's demanding shit. Writing a novel takes over your whole fucking life. It really does. So why in the world did this inspiration fall into my lap now? During the most busy part of my entire life. Not when I'm 20, not when I'm 50, oh no. When I was 38. Why? Hello from Ireland. Hello from Tennessee. John Brendan O'Neill. Are you a writer? Are you a radical feminist? Are you a witch? Who knows? That last one's not a trap, I promise. We're friendly here. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm not like all dressed up the part, but like, I don't know. I really sort of hate that archetype anyway, with the black hats and all the black and the, I don't know. The super spooky, why when you look for good witches, all you get is Glinda? I don't understand that. Just a farmer. Hey, that's pretty cool. We need you. We need farmers, don't we? Yeah, someone has to grow all the food. What do you farm? That's pretty neat, farmer in Ireland. Huh. I am not going to insult you by assuming potatoes. And I live in East Tennessee, and I'm not a farmer, so. We have a lot of them around here, though. I certainly hope that your national system is less screwed up than ours. So yeah, we're radical feminists over here, and I'm writing a book, which is historical fiction until about 2/3 of the way through, and then all of a sudden there's witches. The first installment, and then there's 3 or 2 more after that, and the whole thing is, if I get them each up to 40,000, the whole thing will be 120,000 words. Have I read The Witch Hammer? Just for inspo and fun. No, what is that? It sounds scary. You farm cattle. System is messed up, EU. Oh, God. Yes, and I don't know about over there, but in the United States, the cattle is probably the most messed up. That or corn. What did you say, strawberry? I'm sorry. I missed it. I didn't miss it, but I forget what it was. The witch hammer. Right. What is that? That sounds scary. I assume you don't mean the hammer of the witches, because why would I read that? I think it would just upset me terribly. Old Heinrich Kramer there. The original writing they used to. Right. So you do mean the actual Malleus Maleficarum by Heinrich Kramer. No, I have not read that. If I were going to read anything for inspiration, it would be Margaret Murray's book. What's it called? The witch cult in medieval Europe or something. She was an academic about 100 years ago who read the Malleus Maleficarum and like all of the whatever she could get her hands on anyway of the trials and whatnot, and took that shit literally. And like actually published a couple of different academic books back in the day about this supposed witch cult that they were, actually dealing with in the 17th century. And it's like, I'm sorry, someone read the, the transcriptions from the witch trials and took them seriously? What? Again, that would probably just upset me to read it, but it would also be fascinating. She was good friends with Gerald Gardner, who's the guy who invented Wicca. So, unfortunately, Wicca is half stolen and half nonsense. Some of it is kind of funny. The whole keeping men members in hen houses and letting them graze freely in the field. Okay, that sounds good. That does sound good. Okay. Oh, man. My brother-in-law is a writer. He wrote books about Irish politics. Oh. Now there's a fraught subject, I wager, eh? I feel like Irish politics have been a fraught subject. Well, pretty much since y'all met the English, right? There's some politician here in Northern Ireland who apparently didn't want to use a posthumous pardon for conviction witches because he figured they were guilty. Yeah. Ireland seems, from over here anyway, to be this country with one foot planted firmly in the present, facing forward towards the future, and one foot planted firmly in like the 13th century. I am not an expert, but that is the impression that I get. And the United States really has no room to talk. We just don't have a foot in the 13th because we weren't here then. Our history doesn't go back that far. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was trying to do research on, of all things, mantle clocks this morning. I was just trying to, get a little bit of a feel for the history of them, just cause. Oh, academic curiosity more than anything, really. And everything I came to was like, yes, this company started manufacturing blah in Pennsylvania in 1830. I'm like, no. The small spring wine clock was first invented in 1750, and then this company started manufacturing them in 1905. I'm like, no. Made peace with the British. Well, you didn't have a lot of choice, did you? Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. There's a whole giant kettle of fish that I probably shouldn't open. Right? Like, swastikas in their neighborhood's kind of fascist. What? So the people who were against pardoning the witches were swastika fascists? Is that what you're saying? So, that's a Nazi, right? It's been fashionable for a while to call anyone you disagree with a Nazi, but like if you're going around waving swastikas, you're actually a Nazi, right? That's the real ones, right? I mean, that's how you tell. Don't talk of fish. Now I remember the Led Zeppelin thing. Oh no! I'm sorry. I have to laugh about that because, I think the witch hunter politician was a unionist. I assume you don't mean someone who is in favor of labor unions. Mainly because that would be irrelevant to the conversation, but also because that's a good thing, right? Don't we like labor unions? I do. Personally, it's a good idea. The proletariat to have collective bargaining voice, I think it's a good idea. I think it works. The union between Northern Ireland and the UK. Oh, hell yeah, labor rights. Hell yeah. Oh, okay. Right. So he was, you might call, am I Trump or Biden? Not Trump. Boo. Not Trump. No. Not the biggest fan of Biden either. I was more of a Bernie, right, thank you. Yes, useless strawberry. Bernie! Yes. That was who I was pulling for, was Bernie Sanders. In like the last 2 elections, I think. So. And now we have Marianne Williamson, who has announced that she's running against Joe Biden, which, frankly, is cool as shit. And she's a witch. So, that's fun. Not that she's going to come out and say that, obviously, but... Yes, Bernie. What? Yes. All right. That's right. So, no. We're real liberals over here. And that we're egalitarians, who are in favor of social networks and social, having the government be the structure that organizes society for the benefit of the citizens. You met Bernie Sanders' brother once? Biden is right. Trump is insane. Trump is clearly insane. Trump has been clearly insane for decades. Decades! The man lied to Forbes magazine to become famous. Only a madman would do that. What the fuck? Okay, and he spent the 80s trying to become a celebrity. Just the act of trying to become a celebrity demonstrates that there's something wrong up here. That's not a life goal. Fame is not a life goal. Larry Sanders lives in England. He's a Green Party politician here. Oh. His brother's name is Larry? Larry and Bernie? I'm sorry. I love names, and I'm getting a sense of their family suddenly, I feel. I don't know. And as a mother, when you see sibling sets lined up, you kind of start to think to yourself, all right, I see what you did there. I like it. Or you don't, you know. I grew up with some friends. I had a friend named Heather, whose sisters were Holly and Hillary. Oh my God, I know what you mean. Those people who chase fame give off mega sus vibes. Are you feminists? Yes, we are feminists. Sounds like a kid's cartoon, Bernie and Larry, right? Get those vibes from Dylan Mulvaney. Yes. Yes. It's clout chasing to the nth degree, essentially. And it's like, fame is a thing, okay? But, generally people are famous because of something. Either because of something they did or a place they were. Do you hate men so? No. No, I'm married to one. I have 2 sons. And, man hating is just, I think, a knee-jerk reaction that really doesn't get us anywhere in the long run. So, and it's not one I have the luxury of. I've always tried to assume that men were human. And my thing that I like to say is that you don't get to write all of that beautiful poetry and create civilization and learn to circumnavigate the planet by the stars and then pretend to be stupid and like you don't understand feelings or something. No, I don't hate men. I do expect them to be fully fledged people, though. With thoughts and emotions and all that. Some of them I hate. Oh yeah. Oh no, there are some individual men who I detest. When Rush Limbaugh died, I was stoked. I've been waiting for that day for years. Because he was an evil bastard. And now, of course, there's this vacuum that's opened up and, just next generation of assholes is pouring into it. I hate that, but whatever. He got what he deserved. Embarrassing clip of the Vern Cox interviewing Dylan Mulvaney. And Cox is like, honey, you don't know. You don't need to share literally everything online. Please keep some things private. Oh my God. That's embarrassing, yes. Wow. I like poetry when I drink Guinness. Last night I wrote how laughter is a language. You know what? I bet that's a fun poem. You ever put your stuff up anywhere? Get some feedback on it. Maybe join a group of poets or something. Who knows? I keep telling myself I need to join a writer group. The trouble is I'm writing a novel. Which makes it difficult even to keep my own YouTube channel going, much less joining another community of people who I'm supposed to keep in contact with. Oh my God, no. When it's finished. When I'm not actually actively writing it anymore, maybe. But poetry's cool. I'm bad at poetry. But, it takes all sorts, I think, right? Oh my goodness, they look like I have a big bonnet on now. No, it's a sun hat, I promise. UPS man, keep on going, UPS man. Just keep on going. We don't need any deliveries around here today. No, no, no. We don't need any deliveries around here today. We got all the stuff we need. All the junk we need, all the stuff we could possibly. Oh my goodness. Plus the dogs go mad. I was saying that earlier. Oh, but so, yeah, 75 minutes. Why can't it say an hour and 15? That would be convenient. That would be actually letting me know how long I've been on here. Whatever. We'll go till 2. We'll go till 2 hours. We've got some peeps in here. Had a couple of interesting new people stop by, so that's cool. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the media analysis. Did everybody enjoy the Led Zeppelin video? Aside from, we are gonna be having to deal with some darker shit, at least alluding to it, like the shark thing, because, well, you can't take assholes to task without dealing with the fact that they are assholes, right? So, it's fun because I looked up, just lists of, like, most sexist rock songs or whatever. And a lot of them are really obvious. Like, Run for Your Life by the Beatles. The first line of which is literally, I'd rather see you dead, little girl, than to be with another man. Yes, that's an offensive lyric. But, like, duh. John Lennon was a wife beater who abandoned his kid to go, do Yoko Ono. So, who is, 120 years old and still making bank off of him. So, the woman's not always the hero either. But, like, I don't know. It feels like, duh? Like, I'm not gonna do Run for Your Life. Because, duh. Because, like, the first line is one of the most offensive lines in all of popular music ever written. In my opinion. I would rather see you dead, little girl, than to be with another man. Like, really. That's one of the worst lines of any song ever written. And it's the first line. So I'm not gonna cover that song because, duh. That and a lot of people don't actually know that song. Because they were smart enough to stick it at the end of the album. It's on Rubber Soul, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. Might be the one before that. Which a lot of the ones before that had stupid names like Beatles for Sale and whatever. So I don't know. I'm not actually a music historian, so I don't have to know all of these tiny little grisly details about all that shit, but I'm not going to do that song. I'm not going to do that song. And stuff like that, because it's so obvious. There's a lot of stuff, like, more like the Zeppelin stuff from the 70s, where they tried to get, like, sly with it, sort of, or it's almost as if, like, with Whole Lotta Love, it's almost as if, like, the general assumption is that he is speaking to an audience of people who understands and appreciates his point of view already. So it's not so much that it's hidden, but it's that it's left as subtext because it isn't necessary to explicitly state. Which is just fascinating to me. The idea that not only do you not have to hide something, that it's not even necessary to overtly state it. So it ends up being kind of subliminal anyway. Am I making sense here? Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down at all? Is anyone getting any of this? There's a seed pod in my coffee. Tut tut. Well, you know that I'm a wicked guy and I was born with a jealous mind. I can't spend my whole life trying just to make you toe the line. Because, of course, it's also a John Lennon song, and that motherfucker can write a catchy fucking melody, am I right? Goddamn. You know, people don't just remember that song Imagine because it's like soft and sweet and whatever. It's also catchy as shit. For a ballad, that's a compliment. It's a serious compliment. Name me a catchy ballad, you guys. Come on. Name me another one. Just right off the top of your head, a ballad that gets stuck in your head. Name me one. Okay, I just thought of another one. I hate that song. Beth by Kiss. I fucking hate that song. I hate it. I hate it. You know what? You know what? That might be a good one to cover, actually. Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. 'Cause me and the boys or something, and we just can't get the sound. Like, really? Like, there might be stuff there. 'Cause he's singing to his lady about how apologetic he is and he just can't come home right now. There might be something there. That's more the kind of thing I'm talking about, where there's subtext, all right, to be examined. You know, obviously John Lennon telling someone that he's going to kill her if she cheats on him is bad. Obviously. I don't feel the need to point that out. I don't feel like it would be strong analysis to point that out. So, if anything, that's the thing that's going to limit me in this whole thing, is that a lot of this stuff just isn't very deep. A lot of those guys just really weren't that deep. And then you have a guy like Jim Morrison. Somebody was talking about the whiskey bar yesterday. I think that was you too, Mrs. Strawberry. If you're still here. But like, yeah. Show me the way to the next little girl is like the second or third verse of that one. Which again, yes, that's clearly disgusting. Thank you, Jim Morrison, for letting us know that you know, don't see a difference between sexually available grown women and little girls. But like, Jim Morrison is one of those guys who, like, oh my gosh, he wanted to be so much deeper than he was, right? You want to talk about poetry? Have you ever read any of his poetry? Oh my God, it's awful. It's so bad. Like, I am not an English teacher, and I do not have a degree in English or, literature or anything like that. But I have written quite a bit, and I've read quite a bit. And you just, poetry is one of those things that when it's good, and it grabs you, and it expresses something. And all Jim Morrison's poetry expressed to me was that he really desperately wanted to be deep. That was all I got from all of that. And I went, I read the stuff when I was like 14. I was ready to worship the motherfucker. And I read the poem, I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh my God, what a pretentious weirdo. And as I said before, Jim Morrison is also the first person to ever be arrested for exposing himself on stage during a show. Yeah, they dragged him off the stage, I believe, and arrested his ass. Did it the minute he stepped off. So, while you would think that there would be a lot to get from some of the Doors song lyrics, a lot of them are either stolen, like straight up stolen. Light My Fire is a stolen poem from, I forget who wrote it, but it's from the 19th century. Light My Fire is stolen. And a lot of their other stuff is just shallow. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Yeah. That's my favorite Bruce Springsteen song because it sounds good. It sounds like Chris Isaac, to be honest. Like, it reminds me of that other song. But like, if the rest of Bruce Springsteen's music sounded like that, I would be a bigger fan of his. Because his music drives me fucking bonkers. Who in the fuck was it decided there needed to be chimes on Born to Run? Who did that? What religion am I? Loose earth-based? I feel like this should be an easier question to answer. Technically, I belong to the Episcopal Church around here. Yeah, so I guess Anglican? But as for myself, yeah, it's sort of a loose, earth-based nature calendar sort of thing that I do. Do I believe in God? Like, as the magical sky daddy? No. No. Mother Nature. Yeah, thank you. Yes, exactly. And, you know, I submit that no one's actually found any evidence of any kind of life anywhere else in the whole fucking universe. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. What religion are you, sir? I'm gonna go ahead and say this, even though I know how it sounds, but it's true. One of my best friends is Catholic, so. Actually, the friend I mentioned earlier who loves dogs and has 4 kids is very Catholic. She had a very Catholic wedding. It was beautiful. Her husband sang. Like he did a little aria or something. It was really pretty. Is there a name for being a Mother Nature worshiper? Your family's Catholic? I'm sorry? That can be, you know, fine, but I think it depends on the flavor of Catholic. Which flavor of Catholic are they? One of my best friends is a Catholic monk. Neat. Yeah, no, that friend of mine wanted to be a nun for ages. Like, she had her order she was going to join all picked out and everything. So, that's neat. It really does take all sorts, doesn't it? You know? And, like, I'm not Catholic, and I don't really believe any of that stuff. But, I mean, if somebody feels so moved to dedicate their life to something like that, I mean, that on a certain level I feel is respectful. Even if I don't understand it at all. I don't always need to understand everything. The flavor of Catholic is somehow think Jesus would vote Republican. Oh, okay. Let me think for a moment if I can remember where you are. Are you in Philly? I just try to study the whole thing, but I choose to believe in God. I wouldn't say I'm any specific religion. Okay. Well, it's hard to get judgmental and stuff against other people's religions then, I suppose, so good on you for that. That is one thing, ironically, that I find hard to tolerate, is hardline intolerance. Randomly, you know. Like, I'm not talking about, I don't tolerate clutter because I find that it creates chaos. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, I don't tolerate black people because I find they are lazy. No. 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 That's, no. You see how there's this, like, a degree of difference there? I feel like I'm not explaining this very well. And I've given anyone, should anyone care to look, a very, very bad clip of myself saying something stupid. But, oh my goodness. I'm so old. Does anyone else remember the episode of The Simpsons where Homer is like on Dateline or something because this girl thought that, not judging you, just making conversation. No, that's cool. And I'm just saying that, like, it's very difficult to be judgmental against others if you are just here to learn, you know? You're just trying to, like, read everything what you said, right? So, I was just saying that it's hard to be judgmental with that attitude, and I think that's probably a good thing. Because, yeah, I think maybe judgmental is a better word. Yeah. That's really what I judge people for being judgmental. I do, ironically. Yeah, because again, if you have a practical reason, you know, so I do have certain rubrics that I do measure others by, and myself, you know. I think we all do. And they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but like the outside of someone, how they present themselves is literally the first thing about them that you encounter from, you know, down the way. So how are you not supposed to make any kind of judgment based upon that? Well, we all do it. We all express ourselves through the way we present ourselves to some degree because we understand this. Right? It's not even like, oh gosh, I gotta do that. It's something that I think we unconsciously do. Meanwhile, I'm over here playing with my didgeridoo. That's great. I love that. That's great. Didgeridoo. Yeah. Well, you know, and the older I get, the more I find that there's certain things that just keep coming up over and over and over again. You know, like there's certain types of people that bring about certain types of situations. For example, right? Yeah. If you have certain types of people around long enough, a didgeridoo, I think it's a big old wooden instrument of judgment, right? That makes a noise. It's a Bob's Burgers reference. Oh! I haven't gotten to watch television in 10 years. Come on. Give me a break over here. Cut me some slack over here. I don't get to watch TV. What are you doing? What am I, a couch potato over here? Come on. Come on. Oh my gosh. I hear that show's really good though. Yeah, this is probably one of the ones on the list to watch 5 years from now when all of a sudden I find myself with like oodles of free time. I hear we got a 17, a 15, and a 5. Bob's Burgers? Okay, it's a television show. It is an animated television show. It appears to me, from an outsider's perspective, to kind of be basically the cultural heir of The Simpsons. Philological, correct me if I'm wrong there. But that's the sense that I get. It's essentially the modern representation of your sort of baseline, dysfunctional living family. Maybe that's part of the reason I haven't watched it. I swear to God, you guys, sometimes I can hear the laugh track in my life. I swear to God. Which I just said I don't really believe in God, so I guess my saying that really doesn't hold a lot of weight. Does it? Oh well. Take that for what it's worth. Where are my smokies at? Cat, are you sitting on my cigarettes? Nope, there they are. Tennessee, what's it like? At the moment, warm and sunny. From what I can gather, I can see, oh my God, let me see this. Like, I can see why a lot of Scots and Irish settled here because the hills and stuff are pretty reminiscent of, you know, like Scotland. But it's a lot warmer here. And there's a lot of conservatism goes on a lot around here. You know, a lot of the worst things that you hear about the United States go on around here. But there's actually a lot more liberally minded people around here than you would think. A lot of them consider themselves to be conservatives, but what they mean is culturally conservative from like 40 years ago, which is no longer what that is. Hi.
Oh, hi.
My phone's dying. It's just me. I should have come in the back door.
It's all right. I heard the sound. I thought a cat was being attacked outside.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh, so smoke Benson. Right on. Benson Hedges, huh? Oh my goodness, I remember those. Those are kind of hoity-toity, aren't they? Kind of. I'm sorry. Are you all right?
I'm just going to get some work done. I got a bit of bookkeeping stuff to do.
Okay. See, I don't hate men.
That's right, brother. She despises me.
He's my husband. I'm loud. Did you know? What? Oh, hoity-toity, no. Well, it was maybe maybe it's a different impression that they give over here. They probably market them different over here. Honestly, they're not really a common brand I see much over here. I'm trying to remember what I did with that charging block, because I charged it up the other day for this exact purpose, and then I put it somewhere because I'm a genius. Probably literally my parents met at a Mensa meeting. So, intelligence is like an all-terrain vehicle. It doesn't mean you don't get stuck. It just means you get stuck in more inaccessible places. Fun stuff. I found it, y'all. I found it. And the cord I need for it is in the car. Because of course it is. Yep. Do you know that song, Tennessee Waltz? No. Full disclosure, I am from Ohio. So if it were called the Ohio Waltz, maybe I would know it. I don't know. Back out we go. Whee! What, baby? What's up?
Oh, let me color on this cabbage.
Why not?
Because he says he needs it for other things.
Well, it is his. Where's yours? I think it's in my room. Hey, Cole, honey, can you see if you can find his tablet for him, honey, please? Thank you. All right, we're going to close the door. That's a dog. Yeah. It would be like a crime against nature for me to hate men because I have 2 sons. So, what kind of an evil person would put that kind of shit on a child? I don't give a shit what sex they are. Children start out innocent, don't they? Isn't that the whole... Yeah, because they've never fucking done or seen anything. I don't care what you believe. Yeah. Philosophical and supernatural beliefs are relevant to that. Children are innocent because they just have not experienced the world. They've not had the time to become not innocent. So... I don't know. I think that's evil. Put that kind of shit on a child. So I would not want to do that. Easier said than done, of course. But no, parenting is one of those weird things that requires you to work through your own shit in order to do it well. Oh, good. We're charging. Yes, I don't know if anybody remembers, but last week the power cord that I had out here, the orange thing there, yeah, it died. The back door ate it. So, yeah, we don't have that anymore. I can't just plug in out here anymore. I had to go get my wonderful power block, which I bought a million years ago, and I'm just happy that it still works. Very, very happy that that still works. Now, otherwise we will be up the creek. All 4 of us will be up the creek. But yeah, so I don't know. If you wanted to get a pretty decent sense of what the United States is actually like, you could do worse than to visit Tennessee. Feminism is the most optimistic ideas. We believe that we can change men for the better. It does not have to be this way. Right, exactly. No, it doesn't have to be this way. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're capable of brilliant shit. And they have feelings and thoughts and stuff. And are human and whatnot, yeah. It should not have to be this way. Speaking of which, oh shit, what's her name? That lady who's been going around talking about how the sexual revolution was bad for women. She wrote a book about it. Yeah, I wanted to respond to her when she first made the rounds a while back, but I don't disagree with anything that she said. But like, people were portraying her, saying we needed to wind back the clock and whatnot, because obviously it is either or. Right, obviously we cannot have both independent women and homemakers. No, we have to choose. And I finally saw something the other day. It was like 7 or 8 minutes long, where they just let her speak her piece and make her fucking thesis statement. And that was really good. I really enjoyed that. So maybe I'll put that on the community tab or something. Because I think it was Big Think is what it was. So it wasn't, trigonometry or somebody who is super partisan. Who they did an interview with her too. Which all their shit is an hour and a half long. And like, guys, I'm not going to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to watch a film. I definitely don't have time to listen to an hour and a half long interview with anybody. I think it's good a woman is independent. Right. And as a man, wouldn't you want a partner who is like, oh, I don't know, an equal to you? An actual partner? Why would you want someone who is less than you, who is just another dependent, who you have to constantly monitor and mind? That's not a good thing, is it? I know women who think their husbands are babies, and they hate it, okay? And, to be fair, some men are babies. But there's reasons, sociocultural reasons, that a person might behave that way, and I'm not going to go into it. Suffice it to say, I don't think somebody wakes up one day and says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make myself completely dependent on those around me. Because I don't feel like doing stuff. Like, I don't think that's what happens. I read somewhere also that laziness does not exist. Aspects of the sexual revolution certainly were bad for women. Right, exactly. I would work together. Exactly. We have to. And that is a hot take. For some reason, it's apparently an unpopular opinion that men and women have to work together. Like, it's not optional. If we want to perpetuate the species and continue into the future, colonize the stars and whatever all, yeah, men and women are going to have to find a way to work together. And I don't think that one subverting the other in either direction is the answer. I don't. There are women out there who want to essentially make a slave caste of men, and I personally feel that becoming what you despise is not the answer. I understand the anger, I do. A lot of het folks seem to either really dislike their partners, or even the opposite sex in general, but still date nonetheless. It's strange. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with like hormones and sexual attraction. I mean, think about it. We don't choose that, do we? So I had one of the most fun conversations I've ever been a part of was I was out at the smoke table at work once, and it was me and 2 guys, and they were talking about 2 lady boxers. I forget which ones, but And one of them said to the other, and one of them was like, "Oh, she's hot," and the other said to him, "I don't know if I want to date somebody who could beat the shit out of me." And I just took the opportunity to butt in and say, "Welcome to a woman's world," because they can all beat the shit out of you, basically, unless you're, a lady boxer or something. Most of us are not. So, that's a fact of life that exists. That is also unpopular to talk about these days. But, there's just all these sort of social and cultural political implications. What do you think of men competing in women's sport? I think it is no longer women's sport. I think that was the entire point of women's sport in the first place. Wasn't it? Right? Hello? What? That's like asking me what I think of the new color black and white televisions. It's no longer a black and white television. What the asking me what I think of this cask full of wine with a spoonful of sewage in it. It's now sewage, right? There's that old adage, a cask full of wine with a spoonful of sewage is sewage. A cask full of sewage with a spoonful of wine is sewage. You understand my point? Yeah, so I don't know. There's just certain advantages that one has in life that you can use for evil. You can turn them against the people around you, but maybe don't. I guess is what I'm getting at. A spoonful of sewage helps the wine go down. I think it's the other way around, isn't it? It's the other way around, isn't it? That's the world we live in, isn't it? A spoonful of wine helps the sewage go down. Like, don't get me started on the other. Like, I don't watch television also because I kind of hate it. Like, and I look back at some of the stuff I loved, and I know I still do, and the subtext to some of that shit is unreal. Okay? Like, that's what you have to look at. And it's hard to look at because it's invisible. It's literally basically reading between the lines. But it's always there. And I'm not talking about that thing in literary criticism where you can take, be right back, gonna go use your powers for evil. Ooh. Okay, hurry up and come back and tell me about it because I have to get off here a little bit. But I want to know what that is. Be judicious. Shoot, what was I saying? Doggone it. Oh. What was I saying? Oh no. Best state to visit in the USA. Well, again, it depends on what you want because there's variety. That's really the main point I want to drive home is that this country is not a monolith. Not remotely. No. It's 5 or 6 smaller nations stitched together is what it is. So pick your poison. Do you what flavor America are you after? Because if you're looking for that down home good old boy country song shit, it's real. It's here in East Tennessee. What's that, baby? What is it, honey?
Can I get another day that I know my one?
Alright, 1, if it's dead, go have your brother plug it in. And 2, we will look at the other game in a little bit after it's charged and after I'm off the camera. Okay?
Working.
Oh, good. I'll come and find you in a little bit when I'm off of here. I'm going to be, I don't know, another half an hour maybe. These always go long though. If you take it inside, you'll be able to see it, honey. You're not going to be able to see it standing out here in the bright sun. Please.
The screen is just black.
Yes. Take it to your brother and tell him to plug it in or turn it on or troubleshoot it or whatever. I know he can. He is 15 years old. And as I say, learned to type before he could write. So I am pretty sure he can troubleshoot that thing. Very confident. Let me see. No, but before that, I was ripping about something. Oh my goodness. Anybody wants to help me out? Remember what the fuck I was talking about a minute ago. That'd be super, but Can we do this? It works. All right. So. Oh no! Come on. Spoonful of sewage helps. Looking for is genuinely pleasant, friendly people. Oh. Well, you're going to find that most places in the United States, actually, because it's just kind of a cultural standard. It's to greet strangers in a friendly manner. The exceptions to that, I think, would be Manhattan, maybe Boston, maybe Miami. I think you can find pleasant, friendly people all over the world, except for France. They have a different standard of pleasant and friendly. They do you the service of not insulting your intelligence by pretending to like you. Seriously, I saw somebody say it that way one time. Take that for what it's worth. Baby, what?
This.
I told you we would look at this when I come inside. I'm not doing this right now. We will do it when I come inside. You have plenty of games, and I know you won't forget. Drawing firm boundaries with adorable children is so difficult. That's why I said genuine. Right. I mean, it is genuine in that, they just kind of assume that, I don't know. It's not genuine. I mean, they don't know you, so, as I say, it's not like they're actually your friend anyway. But, on the other hand, I don't know, your mileage may vary, standards are different, I don't know. What the fuck am I gonna do with this thing? I swear, it's driving me nuts. Oh. Have a nice one, Mr. John Brendan O'Neill. I hope you post your Guinness poem somewhere. Your laughter as a language poem is what it was. Yeah, that sounds good. That's an interesting theme idea. So, theoretically, we still have 3 people here hanging out with me. Who we got today? Who is out there? Come on, somebody say hello. Oh, you're back, Philological. What was that you were going to do? What was your evil errand you had to go and run? Hmm? I seriously am going to have to go in like 15 or 20 minutes, though, because it's Saturday. Why in the world I thought it would be a good idea to do these on a day when everyone was home? I don't know. Oh, man. The wind took my umbrella. Excuse me. And it broke it, so now I have a reason to be cranky. Ugh. God damn it. So yeah, I'm gonna go in about 15. Keep this to about 2 hours, I think. Yeah, because I have a whole lot of typing to do. Which sounds like a chore, and it only is because I don't love the computer at all. There's no love lost there. But like, I'm so excited with all the writing I got done yesterday, and well, I'm really just looking forward to getting the damn thing out there so that I can talk about it with other people. You know, so other people will know who the hell these characters are and what they do and stuff. Yeah. There are certain lines that kind of stick with me and just make me laugh. Like, it's so much more funny than I ever expected it to be. I had no idea that it would be so funny. Like, there are parts of it that just make me giggle. You know. Oh, thank you. I did. I got tons of writing done yesterday. I got most of 2 chapters written, I think. And again, they're pretty short chapters. But I try to make them dense, you know. Because every, you know, single scene is driving at something. I always start out the scene with a goal in mind. So, you know, when you sit down to outline them and then write them and you know where you're going, I think that makes it a lot easier to, you know, to crank them out, because it's, you know exactly what you're doing, what you're trying to get at. And yeah, as I said, the one I'm where am I going to publish? I do not know yet. That's a very good question. And if anyone has any ideas or recommendations regarding that, I would be all ears. Nice to know it's intentional and I'm just not just overanalyzing. Haha. No. Like, especially in the third one, though. Okay. The first one kind of, I'll be honest with you, the first one kind of came to me in one whole piece. Fully formed. Which is why I said it just kind of starts where it starts, you know? And it ends how it ends, and I like the ending, actually. It brings the whole thing full circle, and it's very, you know... You could read it as just one book. I don't know why you would, but, you know, it functions as a story unto itself. Or, you know, leaving out things open-ended for there to be a sequel and have that make any damn sense, obviously. But, you know, it's like so many first installments of a story. It ends, you know, with resolution of one plot line, you know, sort of a seg between, right? And it ends right at that sort of nexus point between, essentially the character goes off to college, essentially. And that doesn't spoil anything, so. Not really. Whatever. Everybody, y'all know this is not a historical romance anyway, right? Like, y'all know that, right? Okay. You know, like, Coco's not looking for her Mr. Darcy, okay? Like, that's not what we're doing here. I hope everyone knows that. I hope everyone is cool with that. No, it's not Pride and Prejudice and Witches. That's not what this is at all. No. As fun as that does sound. We got Pride and Prejudice and zombies for some reason. I don't know what the thing is with zombies. I'll be honest with you. I think zombies are a lame fucking monster. They can't even run. Like, except in 28 Days Later, which that movie was alright. Anyway. Oh. Oh, I heard a door and a growling child. What is it?
I think headphones.
A speaker is in front of the window in my room. No, I cannot right now. Literally give me 10 minutes, baby, please. It's really the 15-year-old that I'm frustrated with because he's 15. In 6 months, he's going to be asking me for the keys to my car. And last night, he spilled my olive oil all over everywhere. Well, he was cleaning the kitchen, so, because that's a chore that it's like the one chore they have to do around here. It's clean up after dinner. In the evening, because we make dinner. My husband actually cooks dinner a fair amount of the time. I'm just gonna put that out there. He likes to do that, so. Are you all right? Oh my God. Keep him away from the dog. If he's not all right, they will come and find me. Oh my God, Mary, how you doing, girlfriend? I've been hoping you would show up, girl. Damn. I'm been about ready to get off here. It's been almost 2 hours, hon. How you doing? Here they come. I think the little one may have just gotten bit by the dog. What happened? Baby. Oh, baby. Where is your brother? Come here. Come here. Come here. Let me kiss you. Let me give you kisses. Oh my God. Yeah. Come on out here. Come this way. Go get your brother and bring him over here and tell him to come and talk to me. Come on out this way. Come on. You know, and like go around the porch and talk in through the window. Tell your brother to come out here and talk to me. He didn't get bit. He got in Buddy's face again. He got scratched on the arm. Regardless, the two of them just need to stay separated. I think. Okay.
Forever. Never.
Anyway, hush. Did you say anything, Mary? Tummy hurta. Your tummy hurts. I'm sorry. Hi. Take the speaker. Take the tablet. Find the cable. Make it work. I do not understand why I have been interrupted 5 times in the last 20 minutes. Get out of here. Make it work. If I have to take your tablet, I will. I cannot believe this. The speaker was not out here.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. And he's messing with the dog and all this stuff. Meanwhile, you're doing what?
Not much. Just fine. Stuff.
Please get up and help out. Thank you. Go make it happen. Thank you. I don't know. I was an older sibling. I don't think it's such a big deal to you know, hang out and keep an eye on the kid to the extent that like their gadget doesn't die and the they don't, you know, get attacked by the fucking dog. Like, that's... there's so much I could say right now. None of it is good, so I just won't. I'm sorry your tummy hurts, Mary. That sucks. My husband's going through something. He's got some kind of awful gut thing going on. Oh, thank you. It's mandatory on a day like this when you're as pale as me. Like, Oh, it's rainy there, huh? Yeah, this time of year probably is. Yeah. That's Tennessee for you. People are kind of nuts, but the weather is usually gorgeous. Unless it's the early morning. Man, they don't call them the Smoky Mountains for nothing. I'll tell you that. That's why I was still sleeping. Oh. Yeah, it is. It's more difficult to wake up in the morning when there's no sunshine. Isn't it? I definitely find that. You know, it's ironic because we had a fellow on here from Ireland earlier, actually. I'm reminded of that because I'm sitting here thinking, and I think all the time, that like half my family is Scottish. And I read a while back that Scotland is the cloudiest nation in Europe. They have the most overcast days of any nation in Europe, and I was just like, wow. And the highest suicide rate also of any nation in Europe. And I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're from a place like that, shouldn't you be resistant to that shit? What the fuck? So, of course, I grew up in Cleveland. Makes sense with all the redheads. You know, I'm not sure if there's a direct correlation there. I'm not sure there's a direct correlation there. Red hair is actually a genetic mutation that shows up randomly in all populations, if you believe it. Redheads because no sun, right, yeah. But actually, and that's true, we do manufacture vitamin D from the sunlight more efficiently, apparently. So that's cool. Vikings, yes, but not just the Vikings. I don't know. Such a masculine and aggressive culture. I am not exactly readily inclined to associate myself with them. Okay. I like to think more Celtic. Alright, you know. Especially since my family are all like Scot and Welsh and English. So I'm gonna go with Celtic and German. I'm not Irish in the slightest. Actually, I get accused of going to readily associate myself personally with that, with that aesthetic, with that cultural milieu, because I don't dig that shit. Who doesn't love orange cats, right? Come on. It's like the inverse of a black cat. They should be lucky, right? That makes perfect sense. From a photography standpoint. White and calico are called lucky. Calico are always female, you know. And I've also heard that white cats with blue eyes are always deaf. But I've met one who wasn't. Yes. I don't know, I feel like we need a new hand sign. Yeah. After drawing the line between us and the rock and rollers, I feel like we need a new hand sign, you know? Anyway, I don't worship Satan. I don't believe in God. You sort of by default don't believe in Satan, maybe, right? Yep, usually, right? Yeah, no, and I want your opinion on this. And I was talking earlier about I was ranting earlier, and I think I got interrupted, but it's fine because I wasn't really going anywhere. But just about how I'm not going to do some of the more obvious classic rock stuff, like Run for Your Life by the Beatles, for example. The first line of that song is possibly the worst line ever written in all of their music ever. And I'm not going to ask this to do what on you is bad. Like, we know. So, what interests me is subtext in a song. Like, that was like the Whole Lot of Love thing. It was mostly the subtext that was bothersome, and it was interesting because it wasn't hidden. It was not hidden. It was more just left unsaid because it did not need to be. You know, like the audience was assumed to understand what he was meant, you know, what he was trying to communicate, basically. So it's like, instead of the subtext being, you know, subtle and, you know, subversive, it's implied and meant to be like obvious. Okay. But whereas if you lack that cultural context, maybe it isn't, you know, and that's one of the things that really interests me about a lot of that older stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff you can glean from that, I think. Thoughts? Yeah, any thoughts on that, maybe? Damn it, I have that song in my head again. It could easily get up to 115, 120,000 words by the time I'm done. All told. I have at least 2 chapters to add to the first one. I'm art because back in number 3, so I should probably go back and put him in number 2 so that when he comes back in number 3 it makes any fucking sense at all. Like, he is alluded to as existing. But he never actually shows up because he's a secondary, third, tertiary, really, character. Fucking Richard. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god. Fucking Richard. Yeah. Y'all will understand one of these days if you. Fucking Richard. Anyway. Yeah. Oh my god. That's really my last question, I guess. Because I'm gonna cut this off here in a minute. So yeah, Mary, as regards to subtext, that's what I'm going for, right? Like, I'm not gonna do some of the really obviously awful songs because they're really obviously awful. You dig it? I mean, does that make sense? That's my question. Cool. Alright. And I hate to cut this off, but frankly, my mind is wandering. Like, I need to go get that typing done. And like, I don't know. Inspiration is so weird. Like, Whiskey Bar, right. You know, if it's literally a dude singing to a little girl about how he wants to bone her, that's probably, or like I say, John Lennon literally overtly saying, if you cheat on me, I will kill you. That's probably, you know, that's not subtext. There's nothing to analyze there. We can wag our fingers at them, but we all know that that's bad, right? What interests me much more are the hit songs with subtext that is destructive as fuck. You know, that if you put it back in its original cultural context, maybe, or take it out of, ooh, you got one, okay. You better run for your life if you can, little girl. Up all night to get lucky. Yeah. Jesus. That's Daft Punk. That's not classic rock. God damn it. I like that song. And I would love to do it because it's perfect. And you know what? There's a lot of... you know what? That's a very common theme, though. The kind of party song, right? That's an arena rock thing that goes way back. Didn't know it should be classic rock. Well, that's kind of what I'm aiming at because... Well, partly because it's easier to get, easier to find, it's easy to research. There's gobs of information out there because, well, you know, those guys said their fucking egos stroked 8 ways from Sunday for 30 years. Right? There are interviews and stories and photographs and she's up all night having fun. I'm up all night to get some. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. But see, what I'm saying is, I think you're onto something there because that is a trope or almost a flavor of like pop song that goes way back. I want to say at least to the arena rock era of like the early 70s. You know, the kind of we're all gonna party hardy, no matter what happens, damn the man kind of thing. You know? So I think we could probably find some older examples of that and come up with just as much. My mind is immediately going to Peter Frampton, who I think is actually fairly innocuous. I wonder if I'm dreaming. There's ringing in my ears. Can't believe this is happening to me. Bad at older music. Well, that's why I'm here. I have a ridiculous amount of knowledge on that subject because it was sort of my first love in my early life. You know what I mean? Like I said this earlier, I first encountered Jim Morrison's poetry when I was about 14. I was ready to worship the motherfucker. And it was so bad. That was the other thing, is I'm probably not going to do a lot of Doors, despite the fact that he seems ripe for finger wagging, if nothing else. Because it's all so bad. It's all so shallow, except for stuff like Light My Fire, which is stolen. Which is plagiarized from a poem from the 19th century. So, yeah. That's why I probably won't be doing any Doors either, because Jim Morrison just desperately, desperately wanted to be deep and wasn't. That's how he's always struck me. There's just not a whole lot there, even though there might appear to be. Let me record my cat watching the mice on YouTube. That sounds adorable. Did she do the little crackling sound that they did? The other day my husband was telling me, it's really cute, yeah, right on. The other day my husband was telling me that somebody was filming a bunch of cats and they caught them communicating with one another in these weird crackling, cackling, you know. Oh my god, yes, right? They always do, don't they, when they're watching something they want to get at? Oh, it's at the TV. Oh. No, but so he was telling me that they caught these cats making sounds at each other. They don't meow and purr one to one another, you know, they just do that for our benefit. And they make these weird sounds to each other. I'm like, yep, they do make those sounds. As I was saying earlier, I've had so many cats in my life. At one point, when I was growing up, we had 20 at one time, so yeah. You can say I've had a cat or two. And just by being around, you know, in virtue of being around them, you know, you learn how they are. Yeah. She was trying to breed a particular type. And then once she got the kitten that she was looking for, Brenda had 7. 7 is still a lot. 20 was, dare I say it, too many. And she doesn't like it when I talk about it, I don't think. But I was 12 at the time, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. Have you ever seen 3 black cats sitting next to each other on one windowsill? Man, this shit made my life, okay? Like, everywhere you look, there's 3 cats. Everywhere. It was great. I loved that shit. Of course, I was the person doing the litter at the time, so I can't even say that I didn't have to take care of them because I did. You just do it every night, you know. It's not a big deal. So yeah, once she got the one that she was looking for, she rehomed most of them. The breeding project came to an end. I get really. Yeah. So, how many litter boxes for 3? Large ones, though. For 7, they had 3. Were they big or small, though? I'm talking like, by litter boxes, I mean, okay. So, you know the big bins that you can buy at Walmart? Like the big, tall-sided fucking storage bins. They're like 16 gallons or some shit like that. Yeah. When I say litter box, that's what I mean. 3 of those bitches. Yes, huge litter tops, right? And then you clean them every night. So that's how you do 20 cats at once. Yeah, that's how we did it anyway. Oh my goodness. And they were sweet, you know. It wasn't like, I feel like if you had that many dogs, you would end up with like turf wars or something. You know, they would have their little spats, and of course they had their pecking order and whatnot, but as I say, they would just be chilling in the windowsill. Like playing in a gross sandbox. Yeah, well, again, I was 11, 12 at the time, so I did know better than that, thank goodness. Turf wars? No, we don't need any turf wars. Excuse me. I come in turf peace. I don't know. I'm not a trans exclusionary anything, except that, you know, I don't think, you know, men can't be women. But that doesn't really inform a whole lot of my feminism, because I take that as a given. That men are not women. Like, that is the very foundational basis of the entire concept of thinking about women at all. And I think that's key. Can't learn the words, want mousy in TV? Nice. What does she do when you say that? But yeah, I think that's really the key confusion for a lot of men, is that women are not men. We're not some different kind of man. Mousy on TV. Like, we're not some other kind of man. We're just not men. Yeah. And I think that really does throw them for a loop. Like, they can't wrap their heads around that. Yeah. And it's so interesting to try and watch some of them try and do it sometimes. You know. And it's up to us. That's fine, which I'm fine with. Well, so we need to do that. You know, what does woman mean? We need to write on that. How many fucking inkwells have been spilled? How much footage has been spent? How much fucking time and cultural space has been taken up by men exploring what a man is? Gobs. Right? Gobs. Since time immemorable. And so it's our responsibility to do the same, and that's fine. That's fine, really. No problem with that. Like, we need to leave it up to them to figure out what we are anyway. Fuck that. That's stupid anyway. And presumptuous of them to try, I would say. Really, right? And you know, that's why I think I really, really, really wanted Matt Walsh's film to be facetious, because a man asking what is a woman is like a cat asking what is a dog. Or whatever. You know, I don't know. It comes across as facetious to me. I mean, A, we all know the answer anyway, but B, he's not really qualified to answer that question on any deep level, is he? Because you wouldn't know, not being one. So it's up to us to define ourselves, and that's fine. But we have to do it. And we're discouraged from doing it in so many different ways. Internalized misogyny being the obvious one, where you just sort of doubt yourself, or you second guess yourself, or you, whatever it is that you might be expressing that, like, okay. And like I say, how much time in cultural space has been spent by men just talking about what a man is? And I'm talking every flippant level. Every flippant level. Everything from great philosophy of masculinity and the meaning of manhood and all, you know, and then built into the foundational meanings of civilization and law and all that shit, that deep, heavy shit, all the way down to teenage masturbatory habits. So, ladies, don't do that. Just go ahead, whatever it is that's in your heart, just let it out. Just express it, okay? Whatever that weird feminine thing is that you have burning in your heart, let that shit out. Okay, we need it. We need it desperately. We need it to counteract the overabundance of, like, I stopped watching John Oliver not because of any of the trans stuff or any of the political stuff or any of the bad jokes of any other sort that he makes repeatedly. I stopped watching John Oliver because he makes a teenage masturbatory joke, I swear to God, in every episode, and I don't want to hear about it. I am a 40-year-old woman. What the fuck makes you think I want to hear about that? I don't want to think about that. I have a 15-year-old son who lives in my house. I do not want to think about that. What the fuck makes anyone think a good chunk of his audience wants to think about that? Why is it assumed that that shit is funny? Colbert don't kink shame and thinks porn is the pizza guy thing. Well, you know, he is a 60-year-old middle-aged white guy, like, not to pigeonhole, but if he isn't the poster boy, I mean, really. Half the population is male. No, yeah. But half the population is female, too. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so, you know, their half gets to assume what is funny. Or maybe that's why they don't think women are funny. Because, and like, for the same reason that I automatically am probably not gonna laugh at a fucking, you know, teenage boy masturbation joke, because I do not want to think about a teenage boy's penis. I'm a 40-year-old woman. What the fuck do you take me for? We are the invisible majority. Yeah. But, you know, who wrote it and then who said it, you know. So. But so, I'm not even saying I want him to stop doing it. That's not even what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that women need to make more masturbation jokes. I feel that that has been covered, actually. Okay, like the lower end of the bar is pretty well covered, because that's pretty obvious, isn't it? You know, the upper end of the bar, the upper end of the echelon there, you know, sort of more philosophical stuff, is lacking because academia has been apparently extremely anti-woman for a long time. Like, when the fuck did that? I don't know. I don't understand how, like, Bell Hooks was publishing some of the shit that she was publishing in the 80s. Like, that blows my mind. But, you know, there's a lot out there. There's a big, wide open field, ladies. So whatever the fuck it is that's in your heart, even if you don't realize that it's particularly feminine, it probably is, because what else are you gonna be? What does the word feminine even mean anyway? It doesn't mean frills and heels, okay? Because, like, all the stuff that's actually materially most connected to being a woman's none of that shit. Right? It's a lot of like blood and pain and stuff, right? You know, that's kind of some of the most feminine shit I know of. Good questions, thank you. You know, discuss amongst yourselves, you know, stuff to mull over. Food for thought. This is the kind of shit that keeps me up at night. Oh, and why I do the stuff that I do. Feminine means being curvy. I mean, I guess. Yeah, okay, that's a start. You know, that's, yeah, okay. I was thinking more behaviorally, but yeah. And you know, I wrote a blog post about this a while back called Female Psychology Exists. Yeah. And this is essentially broadly that we are, like, relationship driven, like, community oriented, you know, like we think in a sort of relational way. And, generally speaking, giving birth is a feminine behavior. And sometimes death. Like, as far as you can, and all of that stupid, slippery shit. That actually is what comes to mind for most people when you say feminine. We have live chats to talk to each other instead of watching a dude play video games. Yes. But so, that's another question that I wonder about. Why are the things that are materially most directly connected to actually being female, and even if you never have a baby, you have a period probably, and even if you don't have a period, then you have some sort of an issue with your internal reproductive system that you have because you're female. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all, everyone has experience connected to that because it's one of the few real common denominators. No period. Are you on the sort of birth, you can that hormonal birth control that keeps you from having a period, right? But again, that's you dealing with your internal reproductive system that's, what is it, structured around the production of large gametes, right? Defo shot. Okay, yeah. So, that's a modern innovation, obviously. But, so you still see my point, okay? The material fact of our existence is the uniting factor. I don't see why that should be incendiary or controversial. Right. Of course you have to do that. Yeah. You love it. Okay. Well, cool. Good. I'm glad you're happy with it. But so, yeah, the material thing that we all share is the common denominator, and that's why we have the material needs that we do, why we need the facilities that we do, etc. But so that material fact that we all share is actually so completely and utterly removed. Male privilege does not have anything to do with a period, etc. Pretty much, yeah, right. And childbirth and all that shit, right? Yeah, basically. That's the initial, the material privilege that they put everything else on, right? And the physical, which I feel like maybe they're supposed to utilize in, I don't know, a different way. But that's my opinion. It's just me talking, you know, it's me spitballing. They could use it in a more positive way, more constructive, whatever. So, yeah, the material thing that we all share is the one, is the common denominator, and shoot, that's why we need facilities that we do. And I was driving at something, doggone it. I did it again. Mary, what the fuck was I talking about? Help me out, girl. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go, because I'm losing my shit over here. I'm losing my mind. Like, hey, starting to just kind of wander off back to, like, I need to get this typing done. What happened? I don't know. I interrupted myself. My thought skipped a track. I don't know. I haven't taken my medication yet today. I blame that. All right. I have ADD. Leave me alone. Internet is being spotty. No. No, I felt inspired yesterday, and now my fingers are itchy to get it all typed up because I wrote it all out longhand because I am a weirdo. Okay? Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is like the 5th notebook or something. And I'm filling with this thing that, as I said, the first part, the first third, just kind of fell into my lap, essentially fully formed. And I actually left out a couple of parts because I didn't, well, I left out the freckle treatment because it's kind of brutal and I didn't want to write it. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to read it. My handwriting is so bad. Well, I'm also a journaler, so, yeah. I've actually had to switch hands at this point because, and I'm ambidextrous because I taught myself to do that in middle school because I am a nerd. Learn because carpal tunnel. Hello, me just getting ready to go. But yeah, I was showing off my notebook. This is the 4th one that I've filled with this book that I'm writing. I did the math earlier, right around 105,000 words at this point altogether. But yeah, and the first part just kind of dropped itself in my lap right around a year ago, actually. Pretty much fully formed. And actually, like I say, I left out a couple of parts because I just didn't want to write them. Exactly. And it's pretty much straightforward historical fiction until about 2/3 of the way through, and then suddenly there's witches. So that's fun. Everybody loves witches, right? Except for the people who don't, and those are the ones you gotta watch out for. I almost flip it, but actually I may stand by that. That's hell, isn't it? Anybody gets nervous, you start talking about witches. You might not want to hang out with them anymore. Which sounds so backwards from, the traditional sort of, like establishment, but what's the one? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, sort of establishment narratives, right? But that's exactly what it would be. It's so interesting to me. It suddenly occurs to me that, like, not Faustian, but like the narrative of, oh my goodness. The one where the devil is the good guy. One where Lucifer is, the poor beleaguered fallen angel who just, wanted a shot at the big time or something. What's the original? It's not Top 10, it's Inferno. It's the one in between those two. And I can't. Milton. I want to say. Oh, God. Paradise Lost. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. That's it. The original story. Where, Lucifer is kind of cast as the... my older Christian sister tells me to stay away from crystals and that they're dangerous. She's the type to say that they attract demons. Oh, dear. Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, heavy concentrations of negative destructive energy don't exist and that you don't want to attract into your life, but like a crystal is essentially a rock. It's a rock. And every bit of matter has its own vibrations and everything, yes, and that's true, and you can learn to use them in certain ways, but, yeah, she's probably the sort of person who would scream and run away at the sight of a Ouija board as well, right? So, whatever. Occultism. This is a key point, actually. I want to make this very clear right now. That this is something I see used interchangeably a lot in some of the reading I've been doing, and it irks me greatly. Alright? That occultism and witchcraft are not the same thing. Case in point, Aleister Crowley was not a fucking witch. No, he was not. He was an occultist, and he identified himself as such. As just an example. And occultism is not witchcraft. For one thing, occultism is dominated by men, for the most part, except medium for some reason. About that, but I was just talking about the basis for what the fuck is a woman anyway, and why? That's what it was. Why is the fact of the material thing that we all share, which is usually involves a lot of pain and blood here and there. Why is it so completely and utterly removed from what anyone actually thinks of when you say the word feminine? I have literally nothing for this. Strangely. I have literally nothing for this because I have no idea. I don't know. But it seems very strange to me. When you think about masculine, it might be limiting. It might be toxic. You might have all kinds of loaded because misogyny. Right. But it's along the lines of saying magic happens here. Like, come on. But because we can do better than that. And that's one of the reasons I'm saying, ladies, whatever it is you have in your heart that you want to express, do it. They do. Men do it. Every aspect of manhood has been expressed and nourished and allowed to flower to its nth degree, right? Every single aspect of masculinity is familiar to us all, is it not? So just do it. Let it out. Let it out. We need it. And I think the more we do that, the more a broader picture will emerge. And the easier it will become to sort of start to see what we actually are dealing with, who we really are. And from that, maybe what some of the stuff we've been through, the marks that it's left. We can't do that if we don't even admit that we're a category. I literally had somebody in here last week, I think it was, a couple of weeks ago maybe, overtly saying that women as a specific category do not exist. And I just said, yes, we do though. What are you talking about? Like, that's absurd. Viewed as a sexual object. Yes. Yes. I think being valued as a sexual object, was it the trans? No, it wasn't. That person is always very well behaved and brings up very interesting points of discussion, actually. So that person is welcome in my chats because they chat productively and seem to come in good faith. So, we all have our issues in life, don't we? If you want to add productively to the discussion, you are welcome. That's my view. No, it was someone who just overtly came in and identified as a liberal lefty person and went on to ask a bunch of loaded questions. Was the person you blocked that reached out to? No, but that is the same reason. It is the same reason. Because that person was not just asking loaded questions, they were asking loaded questions that were complete and utter non sequiturs to the conversation and kept distracting me. And derailing the conversation, so yeah. They got to leave. I didn't need to block the other person because they were just here the one time. The other person kept coming back and doing that. So, yeah. And rather than confront them, I just took my executive privilege and whatever. I'm going to curate my space because I can. Whatever. I'm going to do what I want. I'm sorry that they approached you. That's weird. And like I said, they know what they did. I didn't want to. No one asked to sit down. Basically, yeah. And I am trying to lead some kind of a discussion here. So random, aggressive non sequiturs are unwelcome. It was cool to get a comment on my video. I'm glad they weren't mean to you or anything. And like I say, I didn't want to be confrontational and mean to them. I just wanted that to stop. That needed to stop. That's all. Because we have 3-5 people here, maybe at a time. It's very easy to butt in and derail everything, especially me being so distractible and everything, so. Not at all. You harassed me. I harassed you. They just asked me to ask you. Right on. No, someone just said that I harassed them, I think, which is hilarious because I'm online like never. Anymore. You know, I might maybe hop on to watch a couple videos, research something, and back off I go. Because again, I am a nerd who writes things out longhand, okay? So, saber means to know in Spanish. Right on. It's an interesting name for a sword. I thought the pen was mightier. Is this a person known to you? Are they messing with me? Are they laying around? Because, I mean, you see me getting angry about it, right? Like, I am not here to pick fights with people. Or have fights picked with me. And I hear a moaning. I'm probably going to have to go here. Like, for reals. I say that every week. I do this every week. Now, I know you're being friendly. What up, Blaze? Are you friendly? Are you all friendly? Because that would be cool. Yeah, I'm not here to fight with people. Argue, maybe. But not right now. Next week, you'll wake up early. Rock and roll. Yeah, even I, myself, only got out of bed at like 10. I sat down here like, oh, I'm gonna brush my hair, oh my gosh. Like, and then I end up sitting here for 3 hours. Discussions, yes. Discussions for the win. I feel like picking a topic would probably be good, but that almost never works out anyway because I get distracted or somebody asks an interesting question that's kind of off topic and then we spin off in, that direction or whatever. Or both. Anyways. So yeah. Gonna be doing, I guess, the song analyses for a little bit. My first life was in music, so if I pick a topic, there's something to fall back on. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I wrote a few things down actually a couple of weeks ago. That were interesting. And it looks like I ripped the pages out of the notebook, so I'm gonna have to find them. Zero, where did everybody go? Should we watch Never Been Kissed if you want to do a movie analysis? Oh, God. Go to sleep, your back will get better. Right. Free on Amazon Prime, huh? Right on. We have that, I think. The movie analysis thing is involved because there's a lot more to a film than there is to your average pop song or rock song, right? There just is. And B, like clips. And I don't want to have to deal with copyright strikes on top of everything else. That's some bullshit. I really kind of enjoyed doing the Led Zeppelin poetry reading the other night. I felt like that was kind of funny. I feel like that might work for me. I just deliver them dramatically. Yeah, but we can talk about stuff. No, yeah, totally. Ooh, what you're saying is I can watch it for the live stream next week. Right? Duh. Duh, right? Oh my gosh. That's a good idea. And I'm going to do another song for next Friday. Oh. Yeah. I'll do another song for next Friday, and then, yeah, sure, we'll do Never Been Kissed. We'll start there next week. Sure, what the fuck. My husband's been trying to get me to watch a movie with him anyway. Go to church. Like, sir, I do every once in a while. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm kind of feeling like maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm seriously gonna do that. I'm seriously gonna do that too. That I'm going to employ. Right now, though, I think I'm gonna have to go because it's been a while, and yeah, I'm getting that. So it's all right though, because like I say, I gotta go anyway. It's nice seeing you, and we will see you. I will. Thank you. Well, hair is a bit of a nightmare. I need to do something about it, but I ran out of time yesterday because I got a bunch of writing done. Oh no. So yeah, I will see you next week, Mary. You have a good one, okay, honey? Get some rest and whatnot, and yeah, I'll see you Friday, honey. Looking forward to it. Bye-bye.